record. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome on a Monday, a chilly Monday. We had snow yesterday, Sheila. Did you know that? Okay, so we'll just come in for creating sacred space and positive vibes for ourselves. Not that you're not already, but an increase perhaps. And on my calendar, my yoga calendar, Zen calendar is really what it is. Oscar Wilde, I'm sure you've all heard of him. His quotation is, "The truth is rarely pure and never simple." The truth is rarely pure and never simple. So whether you agree with that or not is certainly something to contemplate. It's interesting because truth does seem to change as we evolve and mature and open to more truth. So perhaps we can do that during our practice this time. Open to more truth. What is this? Oh, that's the astrology. So, just letting go of the day, whatever kind of day it was or has been. It's not over yet. Just, I just got this huge chill. When the guides come in, they give me this big shiver. So, we'll just come in and focus on something that you consider beautiful. Person, place, or thing. As you breathe and relax a little bit more from the day, focus on something beautiful. Feel your breath, which is also beautiful. Feel any burden or heaviness in your shoulders melt away from the beauty that you're perceiving. Do a little check-in with your nervous system and your emotions. and check in with your muscles and joints. It's always good to know where you're starting from. That way you know what is happening during your practice and what you're achieving. And what that feels like. So perhaps we could do a little movement that would represent surrender to our own truth. So I'm just going to recommend that you bring your arms out to the side, breathe them up overhead, and as though you're bowing in surrender to your truth and opening to more as you lift back up. Just kind of slide your fingertips in, take your arms out again, and breathe your deep breath as you lift. Reach and forward. Exhale down. Maybe take advantage of the position and stretch a little bit in your hips. And then lift and just kind of drag your fingers in, slide, and breathe. Just imagine that beauty that you were considering before. It's part of your truth, certainly. Lift up, arms out to the side, breathe. And forward, exhale. And lift, slide your fingers back. Now I'm going to ask that you switch your feet. So just bring the other one in front or on top. And breathe again. Lift. Reach and exhale. Feel how it's different in your hips here as you surrender in a forward stretch to your truth. And then lift up. And we'll repeat 2 more times. Breathe. Reach and forward. Last time. Arms out. Breathe. And reach. And here we'll hold for a couple of breaths, spider walking fingers forward, a luscious stretch in the hip joints, low back, shoulders. Now for some side to side movement, just make sure you don't have any debris next to you. Just stay as low as you can and take your arms side to side. As low in your bend as possible. Pull your arms and shoulders over, away from the hip. If your left arm is stretching away, pull away from your left hip. Reach. Once more to each side. All right, and then just bring your palms in front of you. And if you can, just lean back and press forward and come up onto your knees and pull back into puppy stretch. So hips are up and shoulders down, just like a puppy stretching out in the yard in the sun. Now bring your arms out from your shoulders and just draw one shoulder down to the floor. Turn your head away from that shoulder and bring the shoulder in for a stretch. It's a little different than the other arm. All right, and then palms next to your knees and come onto the balls of your feet, stretching toes and ankles, rocking forward and back. Now we want to get some loosening stretches in because we'll be working with triangle, Trikonasana, and the rotated triangle. So just take your left leg out, heel down, toes up, open your right leg with your arm inside and just stretch down, bending forward in the hips. And just take it easy. Gentle stretch. And we'll switch sides. Sometimes if you have a little tight area, you can kind of massage it a little bit or give it a little rub down. All right. And then bring the feet in to open the hips a little bit more, taking one knee open and then the other, coming on the outer edge of each foot. And then come in between your feet, settling in for Malasana. Bring palms together and press the knees open. Lift up through your crown. Bring your thumbs towards your heart center, your Anahata chakra. My legs want to be wider tonight for some reason. I guess that's okay, huh? Okay, so walking in the park recently, I've noticed, the frogs are asleep, the turtles are gone. So we're just going to come into our frog pose. Bring your hands down onto your mat. Bring your knees down onto your mat. I'm going to move forward here. You can turn sideways on your mat for a little more gentleness on your legs. And then you want to separate your knees, but your feet are out to the side, just like frog legs. And just rest on your palms and let your knees separate and open. Because as you relax, your knees will lower down. Okay. When you reach a point where it's like, okay, that's far enough, just pause. Now the feet are out. You want your ankle aligned with your knee. Okay. And then we come down onto our forearms. Palms can be on the mat or hands together, whatever's comfortable, but this always makes my knees separate and open even more. So, or my hips, I guess, to see how that is for you. Let them relax as much as you're able. If there's pain, then pull back in. Don't cause yourself pain. Now, once you feel that you've relaxed into the stretch as far as you're going to go for now, just a very, very slight movement forward and back. It's easier to go forward. So be mindful as you press back and loosen up in frog pose. So if you can, just kind of pulse to the back. Now to come out of this, go slowly. Bring your palms under your shoulders. Bring your feet in towards each other and just press back. Take your hands, walk your hands back towards your thighs and just come back in. Okay. So that's frog pose. What I'd like you to do, we're going to come back down onto the floor, but what I'd like you to do is to stand and just feel what it's like in your legs and hips right now, your groin, your hip joints. I feel much looser. I had to sit quite a bit today with my work, so wow, feels great. Okay, so we'll come back down onto the floor. So that's opening the legs out to the side. Now we'll come into our sun poses, our lunges, and loosen up that way. So just bring your left knee down onto the mat. Take your right leg out and we'll do some loosening here. So overlap your palms on your right knee. Take in your breath and stretch up through your crown. Exhale and come forward, but keep your chest lifted and pull in. And press out. Breathe it in and out. Now stay lifted. You're going to get a stretch in the front line of your body. And then just hold the pose and let the stretch happen. Gentle. Hmm. Okay. Now take your left arm and just kind of slide it down the outer edge of your right thigh. Then bend your arm, palm facing the wall behind you, and just bring your other palm into prayer hands, prayer twist. See if you can get your thumbs to your heart chakra. Oh, I think Pat actually accidentally backed out, so we're going to let her back in here. There we are. Welcome back. Yes, she's in. Okay. So Pat, we're just working with lunges. We have, it'd be your left leg, knee on the floor, and the right leg coming forward and back a few times just to loosen up. You may have gotten some of those in before your connection got lost. And then from there, we went lifting tall. So lifting also gives you some arch in your back, so a little stretch for your back there. But take your left arm, slide it down your right leg, up to the shoulder if you can, and then bend that arm. Bring your palm together and pull into your prayer twist. Thumbs touching your sternum. And optional, we have the back foot on the floor, but if you wish, you can turn the toes under and lift that back knee and come into an even deeper twist. Press through the heel, leg is straight. Breathe. Now it's nice here also to open your arms because that lower arm presses against the leg and helps you to twist a little more. And then lower the back knee. Bring your palms around to the front. Gently come out, slowly come out of your stretch and switch your legs. Coming into the lunge on the other side. Nice and tall, overlap your palms. Press both feet into the ground and lift up, inhale, and exhale into the low lunge. And inhale, pull back, and just repeat a few times at your own pace. Remembering to lift your ribs and your chest. And then come into your lunge. Let your hips relax here. Breathe. Shoulder blades down, sternum lifted. Now take your right arm and slide it down your left leg, coming to your shoulder. And then bend your arm. Press your arm against that left leg, bring palms together, and come into your twist, your prayer twist. Breathe. Let your hips relax a little more fully. And optional, turning the toes under on the back foot and lifting your back knee. And you may get a little more twist there. Press through your heel, you get a stretch in your calf muscle. And you can open your arms here, pressing down in that lower arm, lift your upper arm, reach. And then come back down, bring your hands around, and just step back into plank pose. Now, a few chaturangas. So spread your fingers wide. We'll warm up our arms and shoulders. Take in your breath. And scoop your nose down. Bring your chest through. Roll up, passing through cobra. And turning toes under, lifting knees back into plank. And inhale into cobra, passing through. Watched a nature show yesterday. They were pouring water on a cobra because the temperature was like 100 and something in India. Coming down, rolling up. Feel that delicious arch in your back and the strength you're using in your arms. Lift up. And this time, just hang in traction. Bring your legs closer together. Roll your hips side to side. Lengthen away from your thighs. Lift your shoulders up towards your ears. Bring your shoulder blades together. Pull them down and back. Bending your elbows and bring the pubic triangle onto the floor. Elbows in to your ribs and look up like cobra. And then press up, pull back into child's pose. Circle around in your wrists if you need to. And bring your thumbs by your ankles. Relax your elbows. Bend your elbows a little bit. Let your shoulders rest forward. And we'll slowly lift. Come sitting on your heels. And a little more to open the shoulders. Bring your arms around, interlace fingers. Open the shoulders, draw your arms away from your back. Press your head back. Contract the shoulders and neck together. Now you're opening your throat chakra, which is where you have impeccable speech and you speak your truth. So just like Oscar Wilde says, the truth is rarely pure and never simple. See if you can lift the front of your body and arch back, bringing your hands down to the floor behind you. All right. And draw your body back to center. Release your hands and circle around. Loosen up. Circulate. Circle your shoulders. Reverse. And a little bit for your head and neck. So just chin to your chest and lift. Inhale up and back. So you're lengthening the front of your throat and neck, not to contract overly in the cervical spine. Lengthen and create space among the vertebra. And then come back to center and turn your head slowly. Taking a breath. Exhale into turning your head to the side. Relax your shoulders. Breathe to center. Exhale to the other side. And back to center. All right, so we did some stretching for the inner thigh. Now we'll stretch the front of the thigh. So I'll turn sideways, although you've seen this before, but for anyone watching later on with the recording, into camel pose. So turn your toes under. For starters, just bring your hands on your low back, on your sacrum, fingertips pointing down. Bring your elbows closer together. Knees just comfortably apart, probably hip width apart. And lift up as you breathe. Engage your hips and thighs. And lean back. And you can lean back over your feet. So kind of reach and then come forward. A slight bend in the upper back for a counter pose. Inhale, lift. Exhale, elbows come closer together. Lift your heart and ribs. Engage hips and lean back. Lean back over your heels. Feel that stretch along the whole front of your body. And again, lowering in your upper back, just a little bend forward. Breathe. Reach up. Engage hips. That helps to protect your low back. And lean back. Now, you can take one hand and reach for your heel, but you want to keep your shoulders facing forward. And one way you can encourage yourself to do that is to reach your other arm up and next to your ear. So it's a straight line from your fingertips down to your knee on that side. So you're looking up, reach through your fingertips, inhale, exhale, and lean back a little further if you're able to. To come out of it, use that upper arm to reach for an invisible rope and come out of it on that side. Then bring both hands on your low back again and lift up with your breath. Lean back, engage hips, and take the other hand on your heel. Open the front of your body. Scoop the free arm up and back right next to your ear. Okay, reach through your fingertips, lengthen, and lean back a little bit more. To come out, reach for that invisible rope. We're going to take a little break from arching back. So let your toes down, the tops of your feet down, and just come forward over your legs, stretching. And then lift back up, sitting on your heels. Just take a little break, a little rest, creating the balance between effort and rest, which is something we want to take with us into our journey in the outer world. Okay, so now we'll lift forward up onto our knees, toes under. Bring your hands around to your back. Once again, press on your low back. Inhale, lift your crown. Engage hips and lean back. Now, if you're able, you can bring your hands onto both heels. If not, just do one at a time. And if this is pretty easy, then you can let the tops of your feet lower down onto the mat and bring your palms onto the soles of your feet. Press hips forward. Breathe. To come out, same thing. Reach one arm forward, reaching for invisible rope, and then lower down into child's pose. Relax and breathe. Lower down. Okay, we'll lift up now, just palms next to your knees. Lift up. And then turn your toes under. We'll come up. Take a minute to stretch the heels away. Feels so good on the low legs, a calf and I think it's the soleus muscle. And then just lift your hips. Come into a head to knee pose. Try that. How's that feel? And then you can soften your knees and lift up. Okay. So we want to get in a couple side bends before we go into our triangle poses. So let's separate our feet mat width. Okay. Bring your left hand onto your left hip, right on the hip bone. Okay. You want that for support. And then take your right arm up next to your ear. Breathe. Reach up. Exhale. Press on that hip. Shoulders and hips stay forward and go over to the side as you exhale. Press on that hip bone, really firm. And then inhale, lift, breathe. Exhale over. Breathe one more time. Lift, reach. Tall out of that side. Exhale, press firmly on your left hip and hold. You can look up under your arm. Oh, feel that relaxation happening, that stretch in your hip, your waist. Now to come out of this, just roll that that no right shoulder forward and lower the arm down, and that goes much easier on your torso. Circle around. Okay, now your right palm on that right hip bone. Find that hip bone. And then breathe your left arm up next to your ear. Reach and press on your hip and go over to the side. Inhale and reach. Exhale over. Inhale up. And exhale over. And reach through your fingertips. Really press firmly on your right hip. Keep the elbow forward so your shoulder, elbow, and wrist are all in line on that arm. I forgot to mention that on the other side. But relax down against your palm into that stretch. And you can look up under your arm if you wish. And then press back up. And just to let all of that go, standing twist. So circle around, lift the outer heel. Oops. Okay, so if you want to turn sideways on your mat, or you can turn your mat sideways for our triangle poses. So just separate your feet nice and wide. Breathe, arms out, making 5-pointed star. We're going to shine our lights. So turn out your left leg. Wiggle your hips, just kind of find where they're at. Turn out the heel on your right foot. And take in your breath. Exhale, press down in the hinge of the left hip, your left hip, and reach out. Keep shoulders and hip bones pointing forward and lower down as far as you can. You just stretch that all out, so it should be pretty easy for you. Go as far as you can, and then slowly switch your arms, press against the low leg, and look up into your upper palm. So here again, you want a straight line in your ribs. You're pressing down in the hip. And you continue coming into a bit of a twist. All right, reach your fingertips up, coming back out. Now we're going to turn and twist. We're going to rotate our triangle. So just turn so that you're facing, it'll be your left leg. So let the right heel out. If you need to shorten your stance a little bit, you might need to do that for a triangle twist, a rotated triangle. Keep your legs engaged and just keep on turning towards the back wall. And then reach down either for your shin, your ankle, your foot, or the floor. I like the floor myself, but you choose what's right for you. So you're lifting that upper arm. This is just a luscious stretch in the hip on the front leg. Look up into your palm. Legs are still engaged. Press your feet into the ground. Now to come out, reach up through those fingertips. Once again, face the front leg. Take your time. Come up, arms out to the side, and then rotate to the front again. Beautiful. And let's switch our feet. Nice wide stance, whatever's comfortable for you. And wiggle your hips, kind of find where they are. And then inhale. Exhale. So you're pressing your left hip out as though somebody's got a string attached and pulling it away, and pressing down in the hinge of your right leg. So reach out. You want your shoulder over the leg, knee is straight. Reach. And then switch your arms. Look up into your palm. Let that leg relax. Lengthen out in your spine. So it's hard to see with clothes on, I know, unless they're really tight, but you want your ribs in a straight line rather than rounding them. So many people do that, and that's how injuries happen in your low back, your sacroiliac joint. Okay, reach your fingertips up, press down on your feet, breathe. And exhale, facing forward over that right leg. Let the left heel out, and if you want to bring the foot in, that's fine. And then just continue on rotating to the back wall, and then lean down and reach for your leg, foot, or the floor. And then align your body. You want to bring your shoulders and your hips towards the back wall in your rotated triangle. Look up into your palm. Press down through your feet. Legs are still engaged. Now this time, instead of unrotating, bring that top arm back to the floor, bend the front knee, and step back into a downward facing dog. We'll get that in before we come down for Shavasana. So anchor your core, pull it up and in, heels down. And bend your knees. Come over onto one hip. Stretch your legs out. Just pause for a moment. Notice the sensations in your body after your triangle and triangle twist. Feel your shoulders, your hips, your thighs. Now, separate your feet 12 to 18 inches. Roll your hips under and touch each little piece of spine down onto the mat. Roll your hips under, roll down onto your sacroiliac, sacrum, your waist, each vertebra in your spine. Stretch the back of your neck out a little bit here, and then turn your palms up, and oh my gosh, let it go. Let yourself completely relax. can think about your truth, or don't think at all. Just be your truth. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. 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 Shanti means peace. So bring that sip of peacefulness with you, that ladle filled with peace as you come back, aware of your body, your feelings, the sounds in the room. And bring some little movements into your hands and feet. Take your head side to side if you wish, if that would feel good right now. And then lift your knees up to your chest, wrap your arms around them. If you like, you can bring your head up to meet your knees. And then just roll to one side and press up into sitting. And bring your hands into your favorite mudra. And remembering that your truth is all your own, based on your experiences in your journey, inspiration from the divine, and perhaps Oscar Wilde is correct that the truth is rarely pure and never simple. Perhaps. So you've sealed in the benefits of your practice with your mudra. Now bring hands into Anjali Mudra, prayer hands. A sigh of relief, letting go. And may you speak your truth unabashedly, but always through love and compassion. Namaste, everybody.
That was awesome, Michelle. Thank you.
Yes.
You're welcome. That song came to me while I was sitting there. So it's like, okay.
Beautiful. Thank you. I love when you chant and sing.
Yes.
Yeah. Have an awesome